You are listening to Single Smart Female. This is Jen, explaining the possibilities in your love life and examining your mantourage dating experiences. I am here to help you do life and love on your terms by tipping the scales of love permanently in your favor. So don't forget to text this episode to all of your single smart girlfriends, and let's get started. Why, hello, Single Smart Female. It's your romantic fairy godmama. And today, may I present to you a single smart female listener question. Now, this listener question comes from the great state of Arkansas, Little Rock, in fact, and Miss Climbing to New Romantic Heights writes, oh, by the way, in my podcast submissions, I asked, how did you find, Single Smart Female podcast? And she said she was searching dating podcasts and mine was the perfect fit. Just so you know, I love being your perfect fit. Okay. Hello, romantic fairy godmama. I need some clarification on whether I entered this situation correctly or not. I recently joined a friend group that I rock climb with. I have developed a deep connection with one of the men in the group, and this man has recently asked me out. Doesn't seem like a problem, right? Well, he has been consistently dating another woman for a while, and it seems that he is serious, and everyone in the friend group is aware of their relationship. Here's where I wonder if I went wrong. I explained to him that I'm not comfortable with going on dates with him until he figures out where he stands with her. I did say I am comfortable maintaining our friendship regardless of what he chooses. I never gave him an ultimatum. I wanted to allow him the space to decide what is best for him. There was this one situation where the woman and I were at the same event with him alongside other friends. This made me very uncomfortable, but I decided to have fun anyways and ended up being a good night. Later, I explained to him that although he did nothing wrong in the situation, I still felt like the dirty little secret. I feel their relationship is past the point of casual, and I'm very cautious that I could be the woman who ends up hurt in the end. He was very respectful of my boundaries and did not try to invalidate my feelings. I have continued to date other men, but am I wrong for asking him to not date multiple women too? I will say that this situation feels different because this woman is the one the friend group are aware of and is asking about when I'm around. I would have been the woman behind the scenes while getting exposed to his other relationship as well. All right, so let's dive into this. Miss Climbing to New Romantic Heights. Okay, so you said you told him that, and let me make sure I get your words correct. You explained to him that you are not comfortable going on dates with him until he figures out where he stands with her. Believe it or not, that is a type of ultimatum. Okay. And basically, what I believe you should say, now, there are very few real black and white, right or wrong things in love, dating and love, but there are things that would be better from an adored woman standpoint. And that's where I'm always coming from, is I want you to become the adored woman that you were born to be. And so I'm going to give you an adored woman standpoint in that. And I would have said, I'm not comfortable going out on dates while you're dating someone in the same group that I'm integrating into. Now, does the wording have to be exact? No. You're not telling him, here, I'll date you, but you got to make everything okay with her first. All right. That's, again, a type of ultimatum. What you're saying is, and this is a much more powerful place to come from, is that you're just not comfortable dating somebody who's in this situation in the first place, okay? You're not dangling an offer to date him right in front of him. You're just taking that off the table for now because it doesn't feel good to you. And to be honest, as I went deeper into your submission, it's really not a fun situation at all because, yeah, it does seem like he has something deep going on with her as well. So these are the things we need to clear up, before you proceed with anybody. In fact, I wouldn't proceed with him at all. And why wouldn't I proceed with him at all? Because adored woman standpoint, adored woman perception, adored woman knowledge, we know that there is no scarcity of men for us, okay? The average woman, she buys into that notion that there's scarcity of men. We, on the other hand, know that although, yeah, you might have some chemistry and you might have some fun, you might enjoy somebody's company, but you can have that with lots of different men. And that you don't need to pursue that with somebody that you have with once who could possibly be in another relationship with somebody else within the context of a group that you're in. It's just a lot. That's an invitation for a lot of problems and a lot of heartache. And yeah, you're smart about being wary of that heartache, because that's an open door invitation to just a clusterfuck of emotions, and not even, nothing even fun coming out of that, just a lot of drama. Okay. So, first off, the thing I would tweak is that I would say, not comfortable going out on dates while you're dating somebody in the friend group. I'm totally comfortable, though, being your friend and developing a friendship with you and stopping it there. Okay. That's it. That's where I would leave it in this given situation. And remind yourself, there's so many men out there. Just because you have a great chemistry with this one doesn't mean you can't have an even more marvelous and amazing chemistry somewhere else. So don't limit yourself by setting this idea on him and pursuing anything here and giving him even what can be deemed as a soft ultimatum at all. You don't need it. You don't need it. Just enjoy the connection and then open up your entourage to other people. Now, you did say that you have continued to date other men. Okay, and then your question then leads to, but am I wrong for asking him to not date multiple women too? Okay, so there's two questions in that. I know you were specifically referring to in this context and asking him to not date somebody else that's in the group. I don't want to say wrong. I don't really like that word too much, but no, this isn't the best idea here. I would take 10 billion steps back from this and just move on and fully develop out your entourage and recognize that this was possibly just an indication of having these kind of feelings with somebody else who is free and clear to date. So no, I don't think you should ask him. I wouldn't even date him, but definitely I wouldn't be asking him to stop dating other people. All right. Now, it is perfectly okay to say, though, I'm not comfortable doing this, and so I'm not going to. There's nothing wrong with that. And there's actually a difference between asking him to not date other people and you just saying, I'm not comfortable with this and I'm not going to do it. It's a much more powerful position when you say, I'm not comfortable and I'm not going to do it, than it is to say, would you please not date other women? Now, here's the thing. Now, this is a great question. So is it wrong to ask? Okay, so sometimes, and I've heard this in quite a few submissions, we'll hear a man say something along the lines of, I don't want you to date anyone else, even though he hasn't stepped into an exclusive romantic relationship. All right? It's very rare when I hear a woman on the flip side of that. And I know you were talking about it in a very specific context, but we as women don't have to sit there and go, you know what, you need to date other people, but on the same page, it's not our place when we're dating and we're keeping our options open till we find the right exclusive connection. It's not our place either to ask them to not date anybody. Okay? It leaves things feeling weird. And so I've talked about it before. I mean, how do you handle that mentally? You just don't ask in the first place. You just assume on some level that he is, even if he's not, and don't worry about it and practice not worrying about it and really enjoy your entourage. That way you can learn how to not be hyper-focused on one person, because obviously, and even in this situation, she is hyper-focused on this gentleman. And that's the thing, is this is where it leads to, is that when we start setting up all these rules of before we've actually decided to be in an exclusive relationship together, we have all these pre-existing conditions that a lot of times don't lead to the relationship that we want. It's just enough to soothe our ego. It ends up falling apart, and then we get crazy and feel weird. And then, like I said, everything falls apart. And what for? It didn't have a purpose in the first place. So, no, I don't think we should be asking men to not date multiple women. Now, we can ask for certain boundaries around that. If he's talking to you about the other women he's dating, you say, you know what, I'm really enjoying, getting to know you and dating you, but I'm not comfortable listening to you talk about these other women. While we're together, I like to just think about what's going on with us in the moment, and that's not inclusive of other women you might be seeing, so I just really don't want to know about that. And at some point we decide to be in an exclusive relationship, and then that'll be something different. Then we can talk about historically who you were dating or whatever, or however you want to arrange that. But just understanding that when we're dating other people, no, it's not our place to ask somebody else to not date other people. But on the same page, we don't have to pretend like, we don't have feelings and we don't have egos and we're so cool about it that we can just talk about it all the time with this person as well. So wrapping it all up, I want you to take a different stance on this Miss Climbing to Romantic Heights, I want you to take a stance that, hey, I'm an adored woman now. That's what I'm working towards. I have no need to focus on a guy that obviously has some kind of possibly even very deep connection with a woman in my group, because this is a group I really want to be part of. He's somebody I definitely can be a friend with, but there's so many men in this world. I have no need to turn my attention on somebody who might, or actually definitely, is taken to a certain degree. Okay, Lover Girl, it's time for the final thought on today's show. Adored women don't give ultimatums, even soft ones. Why? Because we know we will never have a shortage of incredible romantic options. Hey again, Lover Girl. Don't forget to subscribe to the show in your favorite podcast app, as well as share this episode with all of your single smart girlfriends. And if you are the woman who is ready to create the dating and love life experiences that others say don't exist, meet me over at secretsocietyofAdoredWomen.com to schedule your application interview.